Alrighty, everybody, what is going on? Welcome back to the Journeyman Sports Podcast. Today, wanted to bring you guys a quick video talking about the hottest team in the NBA, the New York Knicks, 9-game win streak over the last 3 months. They are 29 and 14. And the Knicks are a very interesting team. And the reason I wanted to make this video, with them being one of the hottest teams in basketball, in my opinion, the best right now. I wanted to pose the question of how far can the Knicks really go this year? And obviously, this team revolves really around their two stars, Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle. Randle this season averaging 25 points per game, 4 assists, 10.5 boards, and Jalen Brunson averaging 24 points, 6 assists, and almost 4 rebounds a game. So this team is structured pretty interesting. You have those two guys who are really the stars, the alphas. And then you have a guy in RJ Barrett, who I think is the real X factor for this team. RJ has not really found his stride necessarily. He's been a really good player, like since he's been in the NBA. Solid player, good starter. And I think the biggest key for the Knicks is going to be him continuing to play. Sorry, washing machine was making weird noise. Anyways, RJ Barrett for me, for this team to really rise to the next level, I think he's gonna have to shoot better than what he is. From three right now, he's shooting 33% from the 3-point line. And it's just I don't think he's a bad shooter by any means, but I think the Knicks, they have some shooters on this team. Manuel Quickly is a decent shooter. Josh Hart's been shooting really well since he got to the Knicks. And I think RJ Barrett, to really maximize his value and maximize this team's ability, he's going to need to take the next step and get up to the high 30s, low 40s from three, especially. I think that's really where the next step in his game is. And I think he can take that. He was a good shooter, decent shooter, good shooter in college. I just don't think it's translated super well to the NBA. But RJ Barrett, to me, is really the X factor for this team. We know they have solid role players. Emmanuel Quickly, if you guys heard Celtics game, he popped off. He's averaging 13.5 points, 3 assists, and 4 boards a game. Quentin Grimes, Josh Hart, Obi Toppin, Mitchell Robinson are really the other role players for this team. And I think the Knicks are good. I think they're a very solid team. I mean, they're fifth in the East. They're 39 and 27 on the year. And I think this is good. They're catching their stride at the right time. They're playing a really good brand of basketball. And they're going to get a good test coming up in the next week or so. They play the Hornets tonight as I'm recording this, Tuesday, March 7th. Then they play at the Kings. They have a back-to-back at the Clippers and the Lakers. And then 2 days later, they play at the Trailblazers. Then they come back home and play the Nuggets. And that 5-game stretch, all Western Conference teams, that's going to be a really big a really big test for them, I think, especially as we near the playoffs. I think if they can win if they go 3-2, especially if they go 4-1 in that stretch, I think that really can solidify this team as a contender in the East. For me right now, I still don't quite see them challenging. I know they've beaten Boston twice in the last week. In a 7-game series over the playoffs, I still don't see them testing Boston, Milwaukee, or really Philadelphia. I think those three teams just have a little bit too much star power, and that's what you need in the playoffs more, in my opinion. In the NBA, is you need to have the best player or the best two players in the series. And I think New York has a really good team. I think their team is very solid. I just think they need someone like RJ Barrett to really take that next step before I feel confident saying they could compete for the conference title. I think the Knicks and the Cavs are definitely my two dark horse picks out of the East. Cleveland is really slept on. I think the Knicks are too. And I think both those teams are going to show in the playoffs that you don't really want to have to play them, even if you are one of the top 3 teams in the East. And I'm hoping that this Western Conference trip that they're about to go on really proves that. So, yeah, I think the Knicks are going to get a first round win in the playoffs, barring some crazy sort of thing. I think they're going to make a good push to get home court in the first round, which would be really big for them. We know the Garden is one of the best places to play in the NBA. But I ultimately think in the second round they can push a Philly, Milwaukee, Boston, but I don't think ultimately in the 7-game series they would be able to win. So let me know down in the comments below what you guys think about my take on the Knicks. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been the Journeyman Sports Podcast, and we'll see you guys next time.